Amad aleinu lechaloiseinu Mishe'amdo lavoiseinu Mishe'amdo lavoiseinu velado Shelo yechad nevod Amad aleinu lechaloiseinu Amad aleinu lechaloiseinu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Matzileinu Miyadam HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Matzileinu Miyadam Na 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 oh yo na 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 ve'akadosh baruch hu matzileinu matzileinu miyadam ve'akadosh baruch hu matzileinu matzileinu miyadam agud Voch raboisai ligu nishmas imi merosurus b's Mordechai. Welcome to all the guests. A very special guest here. He's very famous. Michael Chessel from the Everglades. Shalom Aleichem. He walked 45 minutes to eat a meal by us this morning and walked 45 minutes back. Shkoyach. So, thank you. He told me a lot of stories. First of all, I have to thank Fuego, the restaurant, the famous Fuego restaurant in Florida. I didn't realize they gave the entire thing. They made food for 75 people and hosted all of us when I was there. So Yishkoyach to Mark, I think it is, right? Mark and his brother. Okay, so Yishkoyach Mark. Rabbi Isai, yesterday I showed you this video. I'm not going to show it again, but there's a nice story. I don't know if I said it or not. If I said it, forgive me, because I don't remember when I said what. So this guy said over his story, and there's the guy that gave $26,000. He heard the story, and he gave another $10,000. But afterwards, the guy tells him, the guy that gave the $36,000, he says, "You know how I joined your share?" Oh, well, I joined the share because of the video of the cow. So I said over the story about the cow, whatever, I'm not going to say the rest of it, which was very embarrassing. And I thought, okay, the share is over. And then somebody said that he brought 100 people to the share. Here's a guy that joined the share because of that cow video, and he brought $36,000 plus he learns Torah with his share every day. So it was very kedai. Now we go weiter. This is one of the best. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm frequently confused, but I watch every day. Thank you. So listen, here's a guy that gave $100 for being confused, and there's people that are not confused, and they give $3. It's a shaila. It's a gross shaila. Just to update, Rabbi Isai, $277,000 from 738 donors. Yisher Koyach, I really appreciate it. Here's a great number. This is from Shabbos. Over 6,047 people donated, and this is where we're holding $1,090,000. The goal is 1.2. Mati Belsky, not only did he bring two people that donated $25,000 each, he himself on Friday gave $10,000. So Yishkoyach Mati. And then I don't think I showed you this. I showed this to the Hebrew speakers. The Achtos of MDY showed up here during the campaign. Check this out. Bells took a page. 7 people from Bells. We have 7 Hasidim. And they brought 141 donors. And they got almost $8,000. But take a look at this. the Shir of Belzers. Chabad, 7 teams and 141 donors. Let's go back. Bells, 7 teams, 141 donors. You can't make this stuff up. Same amount of teams, same amount of donors. Chabad, Bells, Litvaks. What? Chabad is raising money for Litvish Magichir. It's gewaldig. $8,792. What?
It's a great logo.
Oh, I didn't even notice their logo. They changed our logo. Trademark. We need a trademark today. He's a trademark lawyer. That's why. No, I know about this. I let Shlemi do his thing. Whatever gets him going. Chabad 770, America's Daf Yomi. Unbelievable. Okay. I forgot to mention this, but that must be tomorrow. I don't know, I'm showing it now, but in Paris, Chaim Levin is busy during his wedding telling people about this shir that they have a lot on Shabbos Mevorachim, Monastery, whatever, something like that, on the corner of MUM, sushi, things, watch the shir together. Okay. Rabbi Yisai, the Masechta is sponsored by Anonymous for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh, Rafua Shleima for Elimlech ben Tzipora. This was Zechariah ben Moshe, this was Zechariah ben Yosef. Paras HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, and should be the zchus for the rebellion, if it needs siyadta dishmaya and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Paras HaChodesh, Yosef Ben Chaya Sara, for the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Paras HaShavua, the Rafua Shleima, Mordechai ben Esther. For Shleima, a big part of MDY. Paras HaYoim, brain intact. Unleash your full potential. Should be zechus and tremendous success in all my endeavors. Paras HaYoim, Henry Nussbacher, in honor to Rabbi, who will do anything for money and Torah. Okay, listen, as long as he does anything for Torah, the rest is not important. Art of the month, who's this guy? We know him? No. Somebody just stuck him out.
No, I think he meant Rebbe, but it's a spell check.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I'll do anything for Torah. Money, I don't know. I guess I'll go to people knocking people's doors, but it has to be $18,000 a month. In honor to the zchus for an easy childbirth, his daughter, and healthy baby. So Nachamal, in honor to Rebbe, who will do anything for money and Torah? Okay, we'll read it both ways. Rebbe, Rabbi, Kriyan Ksiv. I forgot to show this picture. I think it's a gewaldige picture. I guess it's in the sugya of Malchamovitz, Mali Hacha, Mali Hasam, where the animals in the Agam. Check this out, Rabbi. Beautiful. Okay. He's chilling out. He's about to lose his head, but he has a can of soda over there. Gewaldig. Okay. So, if you remember, we had this case in the Mishnah where 2 people give a guard, they give him money. One gives 100, one gives 200. And then, of course, when they come back to retrieve their money, each one claims they deposited 200. Since he doesn't remember, we had a machlokes, each one gets 100, and the final 300 goes yemunach, or we had Reb Yosi who says all 300 goes to the yemunach pile. And I remember because I said the Rabbi Galinsky had a yemunach pair of glasses, and he said that when Mashiach comes, he'll be able to go online first. He'll cut the line and he'll pull out his glasses. He has a question. Who are the guests here tonight? I see some guests. What's your name?
It's really Pariser.
Pariser from? Muncie. I saw you recently.
No, my dad and my brother love you. They went to the
But you hate me?
I don't know you.
You don't know me. But Shalom Aleichem. Okay, good.
They went to the Bar Park one and the Muncie one.
You went?
No, my dad and my brother.
Paris, okay. They look like you a little bit or no?
My
Your
dad
brother?
is
Okay.
My little brother's 10. He's 6 foot. Your dad looks like you.
Oh, okay, now I know who you are. Okay, now I know. I know who your dad is. Yeah, very nice. Send him regards if he doesn't watch this year. What about you? What's your name?
Yosef Readings.
Also, you don't like me that much? And you're just trying to check it
No,
out?
of course.
Oh, okay. Who?
Rabbi Saka.
Saka?
Saka.
Saka. From where?
Lakewood.
Okay, you're new? Givaldi. Not in this world. Who else? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. You're not so. I saw you around. What's your name? Pinchas what? Spitzel, Mata Israeli, American, Australian. That's why I have the Israeli. Okay. Givaldi. Shalom Aleichem. Anybody else? That's it. Okay. Givaldi. I'm telling you, every time I read this, I want to say I don't know. So this case that I just showed you, or with vessels, one is worth 100, one is worth 1,000, and the guy, each one claims the 1,000 is mine. Utzricha, Aman, Lamed Zayin, Amud Beis, Lamed Zayin, Amud Beis, right? That's where we are. Do you want to say shir or what's going on here?
I thought you were holding by the
It's good, very good. It's give shmak. We didn't get there yet. That's in the Hebrew shir. Why do we need two cases? One with money, one with kalim. It's the same exact thing. It's a very easy tzrichusa. Rabbanan say, with money, you just divide it. This guy gets 100, and the 100, the final 100 goes to Eli Navi. But what do? You take this kli, it's made out of silver, you just chop it right there and you give a guy something that's worth 100. What do you do with the rest? It gets lost. It's ruined. Maybe put all of it away for Eliyahu Navi to come. And if you just say the case of a kli, that's why he says he put it away. When it comes to money, okay, it's just a simple tzrichusa, a one-way tzrichusa that goes both ways. Maybe by money, Rabbi Yossi admits that you don't wait until Eliyahu Navi comes. Why? Because it's easier to divide. Tzricha. Ask the Gemara the obvious question. Makes no sense what you're saying. What time did Rabbi Yossi Mishum Hefsed Ramayu? What do? We take all 300, put it away in a box, but one of them definitely deserves 200. So you punish the guy that he deserves the 200. Why? Says Rabbi Yossi, because like this will make the liar admit. He doesn't want to lose his 100. He'll come forward. So what does that have to do with a kli and money? As I do, we're trying to force here the liar to admit. So Zimar, you're right. You're right. It goes according. Both cases are for Rabbanon. So Rabbanon are not into this whole Ramai, not Ramai. So yes, we say the first case of money, and then we say the lesser chiddush of a kli. Okay, you're right. At the end of the day, we don't have a good reason why we have two cases. Sometimes we do use the loizu avzu. We'll say one case, and we don't need the second case. Says the Mishnah, sponsored by Moshe Cohen, the zchus, atzlachim, parnasa, and ruchnius. Hamafkid peiroid eitzachaveiroi. Afilu memavudim. Somebody gives his friend something to watch, fruit, and they start spoiling. Lo yiga bohem. So Rashi says it could be through this. Let's see, we have a picture here. It's a bunch of mice eating the food. Rashi says achbarim. We could actually save it for Daf Mem, but why not? It's Motzei Shabbos. Okay, I'll say we're in a rush. We'll say it on Daf Mem, hopefully. Even if you see the mice are eating from it, they're destroying the fruit, do not touch it. No, you should sell it. You're helping the guy out. Why would you not take care of it? He doesn't want his fruit to spoil, to rot. Says the Gemara, we have two reasons why you should not touch it. Very, very famous Gemara. A lot of children know this one. It's Girsa de Yankusa. A person rather one of his than 9 from somebody else. What's pshat? Says Rashi, because a person loves something that he works hard for. Yeah, I don't know. I used to dabble with woodworking, and I built bookcases back in Chicago. I loved them. They were ugly. My wife wanted to get rid of them all the time. She said, maybe put them in the basement, maybe this. She tried to be nice to me. But I worked so hard on them, staining it and cutting it, the whole thing. Something you work hard on, a daf Gemara that's hard to come by. You have to get up early in the morning. You kind it. It's yours. Like that guy, the video, Kohler, whatever his name is. He worked hard on Ksubas. It became his. Something you work hard on, it doesn't matter. Somebody will give you better. No, I want mine. And that's the pshat over here. He worked hard on these fruit. He'd rather have his. He doesn't want you to sell it. Okay. There's a Purim Vart. It's a Purim shtickle Torah, really. There's another guy for the Hebrew shir. Shalom Aleichem. You're not late for the Hebrew. You're early because of the change of the clock. But you're sitting in the perfect section. That's the Hebrew section. You're next to two other guys that came early.
Thanks so much. And welcome back.
It's good because now you get to hear the Purim Torah. So the question is, why did Haman's daughter pour the waste on his head? So this pshat is because Haman sold himself as a slave to Mordechai, and a slave, you have to do tefillah for a slave. So, but he was mekel. He said you don't need a mikvah. You do tisha kabim, but it wasn't tisha kabim. Why? Because it was his own waste. Adam roitze b'kav shaloi mit tisha kabim shechaveroi. Okay. Says the Gemara. No, Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky says, how come it says v'samachta b'chagecha by Sukkos and Shavuos? It doesn't say by Pesach. It's coming up, Pesach. He says because people work so hard to bring in the yontiv. They have to do the charoises and they go to the matzah and you clean the house. It's all, so you're kind of the yontiv. The simcha happens automatically. You put so much effort into it, it's yours. You don't need the samachta over there. It's pashut. Says the Gemara. Meisvei. Oh, did I get there? No. V'Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Omar. Chayshinon shema asona mafkid trumo ma'isra al mokam acher. So we have some new guys here, so we'll show you this because in Yeshiva they don't really teach this. If a person has 100 fruit, you have to give about 2% to the kain. That's called truma. Then you take 10% and you give it to the Levi. What if there's no Levi? What if you don't have the fruit? Let's say you do have a Levi, you don't have the fruit. So we had this story actually in the Masechta where Gamliel was on a boat with Rabbi Shua and Rabbi Akiva, and he had to eat the fruit. Or he was worried that the fruit in his house didn't have meiser and truma, and his family's going to eat from it. And if you eat from it, it's the rice, it's tevel. So what did he do? He sold the pride, gave a little bit to Rabbi Akiva, a little this, and he did a whole trick. But you could take truma and meiser when you're not really there. So that's the concern. The concern is the guy, the owner of the fruit that put the fruit by you to watch. If you're going to go sell his fruit because mice are attacking it, you might be selling trumas and meiseros. It's something only a kohen could eat, not a Yisrael. I'll ask you a question. So let's think a second. If you give your friend fruit to watch, the friend shouldn't touch it. Why? Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak just said, because perhaps the owner made it truma meiser. So in fact, he has fruit that's truma meiser. He's going to sell it off, and he's going to sell a Yisrael truma meiser, and the Yisrael is going to eat truma meiser. So let's read the next word. Lefichach, therefore, it's not therefore, it's because the owner made it truma meiser, that's why you shouldn't touch it. So what does it mean? Lefichach balabayis oisa truma meiser. No. Ulai balabayis oisa truma. Chayshinon shema balabayis truma. Not lefichach. The word lefichach doesn't work here. If the pshat is that we're concerned that you shouldn't sell something that doesn't belong to you, why? Because a person loves something he worked really hard on. Therefore, you that don't know if he sold it or not, you could go ahead and make truma meiser on it. Why? Because you know that the shomer is not going to sell it. Why? Because therefore, you can go ahead and make it truma meiser. That makes sense. The first pshat, Rav Kahana. It doesn't fit well with Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Says the Gemara inside. Bishleima lefichach balabayis is a truma meiser al Bishleima Rav Kahana adam rois b'kav shalom tishu kav shechaver hani tolu lefichach. It fits right in. El Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak my lefichach. It's chayshina, not lefichach. Says Gemara, you could still say it goes according to him. Hashad Omer Rabbanon lenezaben. Rabbanon made the takana that you the shomer should not sell somebody else's fruit even if they're going bad. Why the chashinon? You're right. It is because of chashinon. We're concerned that the owner somewhere stuck on a boat, made the fruit in your house trumas and meisers. Now that you don't sell it because of the chashash, therefore it's like a catch-22. Therefore, you're permitted on a boat to make it trumas and meisers. Why? Because the shomer is not going to sell it. Why will the shomer not sell it? Because he's concerned that maybe you made it trumas and meisers. Therefore, you can make it trumas and meisers. Okay. New sugya. Rabbi say, wake up. New sugya. What's the question? Can I sell the fruit that I'm watching for my friend? That's only when it's a normal type of rotting. Let's say 10%. Let's call it 10%. But once there's something going on here, some bug attacked the fruit, there's an extra amount of mice, whatever it is. That you could sell in front of Bezin. Other Rabbi Nachman Bar Yitzchok Vadi Pliga. Rabbi Nachman Bar Yitzchok is the one that says, I'm concerned that perhaps the owner, without telling you, made the fruit in your house truma meiser. So that's a big problem. I don't care how much is spoiling. 50% is spoiled. I cannot sell it. Why? Perhaps it's truma meiser. So it must be a machlokes. Other Rav Kahana milei mepligo, but Rav Kahana says, maybe when it's getting up there, 50% rotted, maybe then I agree you should sell it. Says Gemara, ki komer Rav Kahana b'chdichas ronim komer. No, he doesn't argue. Only when it's a normal amount of spoilage, he says, don't sell somebody else's fruit. But it's more than that. Even a guy that really loves what he produced, what he worked hard for, nevertheless, he agrees, sell it and sell it quickly because you're going to save him. If you're going to be medayik in the words, he says, 1 to 9. 9 could go spoiled. He'd rather have 1 left for himself. Says Gemara, Guzma Ba'alma. No, a person's not that crazy. It's just an exaggeration. It means a person loves what he produced himself. Maybe 1 to 2, whatever it is. Not 9 times the amount. So let's just go back a little bit. You have the owner who gave somebody a bunch of fruit to watch. The owner is on a cruise. And all of a sudden he realizes he has to take trumas and meisers from that pile that's in his friend's house. He could do it. How could he take advantage of it? Perhaps there's a big problem. There's a bunch of bugs. Yeah? My wife told me that I had the wheat. Remember the wheat I kept on bringing to shear back and forth? I noticed they had small holes in it. So I said, oh good, they had bugs once upon a time. The bugs left, and Shalom Yisrael, they left a bunch of holes in each piece of wheat. In each kernel had a small, she says, no, when you're in America, don't ask. They came out. They were all over the place. So she had to take it and throw it out. I'm very sad. I really wanted the wheat. I use it throughout Shabbos. Okay. A lot of bugs. Now somebody from America is going to send me like a truck of wheat. No. Just 3 stalks. That's all I need. Okay. I'd rather they donate to the page. You can send me the thing. Yeah. So maybe there was a bug infestation and the shomer went ahead and sold it. How could the guy on the cruise make those fruit truma meiser? Maybe selling it to Yisrael. Whoever buys it is going to eat tevel. Tevel is this the reisa. Says the Gemara, what? Correct. That is true. Yes. The balabayis who doesn't know, he's on a cruise, he's making truma, he's using the fruit in his house, and the balabayis himself is eating tevel. Very good. Says the Gemara, we don't have to be concerned for something like that. Let him eat, let him on the cruise eat what he wants to do. That's what we do. Like, I don't really do it, but people here in Israel, when they get something that they're not sure if it's trumas and meisers, so they say, oh, I'm doing trumas and meisers on something I have over there. They have a pile of cash, a pile of whatever it is. They do a whole... So you could eat stuff here and take truma meiser from somewhere else. That's what he's trying to do. But at the end of the day, he didn't take truma meiser. It didn't work because it's already sold. Don't worry about it. It's very rare that there'll be an infestation that the guy will sell. Well, what if it did happen? The guy, the shomer, is going to sell off all the fruit to save the owner something. But the guy in the cruise, he took Trumas and Meisers on it. He made it, the pile you're trying to sell is already Truma Meiser. Says the Gemara, that's not a problem. They're selling it, he's selling it only to a kohen that's able to eat this. So if so, Rav Nachman Yitzchak's whole problem, why can't the shomer sell fruit? Because maybe it's a pile of truma. Okay, so sell to a kohen. Made truma. The that fruit will go bad is very rare. And when it does happen, it takes a lot of time. Fast forward, you have to go forward a lot. Yeah, until you have an infestation, it takes a month, let's say. But when we allow the guy in the cruise to take Trumas Meisers from this fruit, Mikhame, before, with a mem, not with a lamed. Likhame means very far ahead. Mikhame means even before. The guy in the cruise doesn't have unlimited amount of time. He has to do it quickly. Why? Because he wants to use this fruit that he has on the cruise. He wants to get rid of the tevel. Okay. So he has a limited time. The problem occurs later on down the line that the fruit got infested. Says Gemara, Hilkoch. When there's a big problem of the fruit going bad, when it does happen later on down the line, now I'm concerned that the guy on the cruise, he took truma from it a month earlier, so now just sell to a kohen. But it's not true. It's something that happens. And when it happens right away. If there's a problem, the problem jumps in immediately. It doesn't wait. And if you say you should sell, he'll run ahead and sell it. The owner that's on a cruise, he doesn't know that it was sold so quickly. And he ends up eating tevel because he thinks he has a pile of fruit somewhere. The pile of fruit was already sold. He's using that pile of fruit to make truma on the fruit that he has on the ship, and it's gone. So he's eating tevel. Basically, a person gives his fruit over to his friend to watch, and they spoil. Yayin v'hichmetz. The wine became vinegar. Shemen v'hivish. I looked it up on Google. Don't worry about it. Oil could go bad. It says the oil went bad. Dvash v'hidvish. This is a problem a little bit because everybody knows honey could stay forever. So in fact, we're not even talking about bees honey. We're talking about date honey, because otherwise it doesn't fit into the sugya. You don't have to take Trumas and Meisers. But even bee honey could go bad if you leave it exposed, and it you get fungus and all sorts of stuff. The bottom line is the honey went bad. This is important to remember. Do not touch. Don't sell it. Don't try to do anything. You gotta be nice to the owner. The owner would want you probably to sell it. No? So sell it in bezin. When you sell it, don't sell it to yourself, you sell it to other people. Why? What's the pasuk, Rabbi Yisai? Huh? Pasuk. Visim Nekim. You can't do stuff that people are gonna suspect you. Yeah. You're around, you're collecting money, and you start, as the Gemara says in a second, you're watching somebody else's fruit. All of a sudden, it becomes convenient for you to sell to yourself, and you start eating this fruit. Don't worry, I'm putting money inside. No, people are going to say it's not spoiled. You're just doing it because you need fruit. I forgot to say, when we're talking about the honey, it's interesting. There's a famous story that people say that's a medrash, and they looked it up here in the Kyle. Nobody could find it in the medrash. They could find it. The furthest it goes back is 150 years. That's it. But it says like this: that David HaMelech, when he was a kid, he saw a woman coming out of Shaul HaMelech's palace, and she was crying. Why are you crying? Crying because she gave somebody a whole jar of honey to watch. And when she got it back, it was full of honey. But when she looked inside the honey, it was all honey. But what happened was she gave the jar, it was full of gold. And she put a little honey on the top. And she was very sad. So David HaMelech, as a child, said, okay, let's break it open. They broke it open and they found a piece of gold stuck to the side. And then they realized that she was right. Because Shalom HaMelech said, no. The reason why she's crying, Shalom HaMelech said, there's nothing you can do about it. It's like that coffee jar with the diamond. You bring a raya that was gold in there. You can't bring a raya, then no. The problem is that, first of all, David HaMelech was 28 years old when Shaul was a king, and it says he was a kid, and nobody can find it in any medrash. It's like, it's brought in books that maybe Sfarim, 100, but a lot of Sfarim bring them. Okay. Fine. Zog the Gemara. Similar halacha, when a Gabbai Zaka doesn't have poor people to give money to. The Rashi says the money, the cash, could go bad, the coins go bad. So you give it to other people to get larger denominations. But the Gabbai Zaka himself shouldn't deal with the money. Again, those in charge of the food for the poor, don't sell it to yourself. The bottom line is Klanimiyas, Peres V'Kivu, and what does it say? Lo yiga b'hem, don't touch it, don't sell it. My love, Rabbi Yochanan is of the opinion that according to everybody, if there's a large spoilage, sell it in Bezdin. Over here it seems like, even though there's a large spoilage, you don't, lo yiga b'hem. Lo, we're talking about that there's not such a big problem. When wine goes bad, that's huge. Shemen v'hivish dvash v'hidbish. The Yosef so why shouldn't you sell it? Says Gemara Shani Yohani, keeping the come. Yeah, like sometimes something falls on the floor. The floor is dirty. So you jump, you get it. It's too late. It's on the floor. It already got dirty. You sat down on chocolate. That's it. It's finished. So just because you jump up, it's not going to make it less dirty. Says Gemara, keeping the come. That's it. Once the wine is spoiled, why are you going to sell it today? It's spoiled, finished. Don't touch it. Shem v'hivish, says the Gemara. Shem v'hivish, dvash v'hidvish. What about Daf Lamed Ches Amud Beis? Givaldik, the Israelis are starting to come in. L'may chazu. What can you do with this stuff? Oh, the famous sponsor here, the new one. Kidnovations, in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and as zchusim for Akiva Simcha Ben Feiga, amen. Official mitzvah motivators, in honor of Dr. and Mrs. Robert Lehman for sponsoring Gemaras and other Sfarim, those on the Kilas Kodesh and their Talmud Torah chat. For continued learning Torah. This is too long. We gotta slice it down a little bit. Reb Official is a man of many words. He knows how to make this more bekitzer. Says the Gemara. What can you do with this stuff? Shemen chazil gildai. You could use spoiled oil for tanning hides. The vash, the ktisho, the gamle, you could use honey to put on the wound of a camel if he has some. They sell the stuff today. Check this out. Camel honey. Somebody mentioned that it might be the Camel cigarette logo, so it's not. But look, on the side, they also have it over here. Like on the side. Looks legit. Okay, so they knocked it off, the Camel cigarette. Okay. Says the Gemara. You just sell it in Bezdin. It's spoiled honey. What are you going to do with it? You're right. You're not going to save the oil. You're going to save the jar. But my komifligi, what's the machlokes? The Marsal levs limud. Do I have to worry and go to Bezdin to save a small jar? Yes, you have to go to Bezdin for that. Of the opinion, you sell the fruit, the spoiled fruit, because you're doing Hashavas Aveda. Right? We said the whole Perka Elam Tziyas is all about helping another Jew who has a loss, prevent him from a loss. Itmar, Rabbi Abba, Rabbi Yaakov, Rabbi Yochanan. Halacha, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, that you're allowed to sell it to prevent a loss. For Rav Omer, Rav Nachman, Halacha, Kedivri Chachamim, you're not allowed to sell it. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan Chod Zimna. But why is Rabbi Yochanan saying that the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel? This is a famous concept in Shas. The Rabbi Yochanan says, anytime Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is mentioned in our Mishnah, halacha gemaisa, the halacha is like him, chut, from the famous three things. Mi'arev, b'tzaydam, v'rayach, roina. And our Mishnah is not one of those three things, so the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. Says the Gemara, no, it's not so simple. I'm roininu, v'aliv Rabbi Yochanan. There's a machlokes Amoraim in Rabbi Yochanan. Did he really say that the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel in all these, in the entire Shas or not? Perhaps this man holds it's not so simple, and that's why Rabbi Yochanan had to say specifically in this case the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. Says the Gemara, the Rabbi Shimon Gamliel nishma, from the fact that Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says you could go ahead and sell somebody else's fruit to save him. Nishma, we learn from this the meridim karov l'nichsei shavui, that you're permitted to go and put a relative inside the belongings of somebody that's captured. This is a Taisis and Lamites Amud Beis. I'm going to bring it again, but all the way at the end of Taisis Dilma, Shchiva Safta. So Taisis says, because it's Mamish and Yonah Diyayim, what's going on? We even start off the shir saying the zchus that the hostages should come back. They just found the body today. They were able to retrieve one body. Taisis says, when somebody's captured, there's a big concern that they're dead. Because we know too well that even in our days, they torture them, and unfortunately, I believe they're saying that there's 33 bodies right now, right? Out of the 133, there's 33 bodies. Shite? It's a problem. So, do you have somebody go in and start dealing with the field, with the orchard, with the vineyard, whatever? Rabbi Shimon says, we got to save whatever we can save. He's gone, let's go in there. Rabbanan say, no, don't touch it. Says the Gemara, what's the connection? Maybe there's no connection. Maybe Rabbi Shimon says, when the fruit are getting destroyed, they're losing value every minute. The principle is going. But perhaps when the guy has a vineyard, okay, so you lose the grapes, but you still have the whole vineyard. It's going to come back next year. Maybe Rabbanan say, don't do anything, because we have the svara of because perhaps the owner made a truma. But when a guy he's captured, he's a hostage, maybe we should go and help him out. Says Gemara, the tray tamaninu. Oh, so here's a little bit of a chart. We don't really need it, but fine. Well, you see over here, when the fruit gets spoiled, Rishon says sell. Chacham say don't touch. When a guy is in captivity, Chacham say don't let anybody touch it. Rabbi Shimon says you go ahead and you work the field. So perhaps the two greens line up and the two reds line up. Rabbi Shimon says we help the guy out for the fruit, we help the guy out on his field. Is it the same logic? Or not? Perhaps it's two different logics. Shmuel says the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel on the right side. That what? That you sell the fruit. We just said it before. You sell the fruit when they start spoiling. V'amar Shmuel, beautiful here, green and green. They line up. Isn't because it's one logic. It's two different logics. Why? Rav says in the name of Rav Nachman that the law is like Chachamim, that you don't let somebody sell the fruit. So on the one hand, you have red all the way to the right. That looks like Chachamim all the way to the right, and that looks like Reb Shimon Gamliel all the way to the left. So it's green and red; they don't line up. You see, it's two different pieces of logic. Shmami, no, it's a good raya. Itmar. Shavish Nishba, somebody was captured. Rav Amar, Emeridim Karvin Chasav, Shmuel Amar, Meridim Karvin Chasav, Machlaikis, whether or not you help the guy out. B'sheshavu b'shemeis, Kula Alma, Lo Yipligid Meridim. When you hear that he died, everybody agrees that you go in there. You take care. He's dead. It's a rumor, yes. No Eidim, it's a rumor. So Gevaldik Maisa, one of my favorites now. Top favorite from one of my probably my favorite story about a gadol is about Shlima Zaman Auerbach. This is also Shlima Zaman Auerbach. Shlima Zaman Auerbach is in Chariot Tzedek coming down an elevator. The elevator stops on the floor, doors open up. In walks a young guy. He sees Rav Shlomo Zaman Auerbach and he says, Rebbe, you're not going to believe it. After all these years that I'm married, I had a baby boy. Oh, I'm so excited. So Rav Shlomo Zaman Auerbach hugs him and kisses him. They make a shtickle record, whatever he did. Very, very happy for him. Why not? The guy just had a kid. Elevator continues down. Doors open up. And this young guy, he sees all these people standing there and they're all crying and this and that. So what happened? So Rav Shlomo Zaman Auerbach's wife was just nifter. He just came down from a room. He's like, oh. So Rav Shlomo Zaman Auerbach, when the guy was so happy and telling him about his kids, he paused. He stopped doing what he had to do. He went away from that velus and he hugged this guy because that's what this guy needed. He needed to be happy. He didn't want to hurt his feelings. Oh, I can't be my wife. And then when he was downstairs, he cried it out with his mishpacha. That's a typical Rav Shlomo Zaman Auerbach story. Shama Shemeis. He heard he died. I just thought about it here. Shama Shemeis. Lo pligi de meridin. Ki pligi b'shloi shama b'y Shemeis. אתם בדקה מוקדם, מה קורה כאן? סליחה. כי פליגי בשלוי שם בשם Rabbi said, this is Rabbi Yisrael Lichter in the back. He donated to the campaign 3,000 shekel. I said, I told Israelis, I don't want to embarrass him like that. No, I said, we just started this year. I don't want to Shalom Aleichem, we're doing a share and also you have to give money. We'll wait a year or two until we do it to the Israelis. Okay. Keep ligi b'shaloi shamu b'shemeis. So machlokes is when you didn't hear, he disappeared. I don't know. He's in captivity. Taisa says it's a great chance he's dead. You put somebody in there. What are they going to do? They're just going to use the field, and they're not going to fertilize. They're not going to take care of the field. They're going to ruin the field. Why? He gets paid, let's say a third. The typical is to get paid a third. So he's going to take good care of it. Listen to this. If you cause pain to a widow or a yasam, what does the Torah say? I'll be very upset at you. I'll kill you. So if Hashem kills a person, what happens to that person's wife? She becomes a shtickle widow, no? And the kids, what do they become? Yisayimim. So then they become a shtickle Yisayimim. So that's obvious, right? So then why does the Torah say that your wife will become an almana and your kid will become a yasim? Because the teacher there'll be a terrible almana, one called an aguna. She won't be able to get married. Here, this is our case. The son is going to want to inherit the father. But Shmuel says you do let, if the guy disappears, you let the son go in there. This Gemara says you don't let the son go in. Omar Rava, I don't understand. I mean, I can't imagine today where somebody disappears for a while that his son is. They're going to tell the son, don't take care of the father's belongings. Don't take care of his business. What? Most fathers would want it. I don't know. Okay. Omar Rava, later the limkar. It's talking about the next step. It's to sell it. Of course, the son could go in there and work it. It's a little bit of a doichak, as the Gemara is going to say soon. But what we mean to say, the son shouldn't sell. Imagine the father shows up 2 months later out of captivity. What happened to my business? What happened to my factory? Oh, I sold it. It's bad news. Havuvda says the Gemara ben Arda. There's a story of Pastor of Sheshes Mad Masnisa. He said you're not allowed. The son shouldn't go in there. What do you mean he shouldn't go and work the business? Maybe what it's meant to say is he shouldn't sell it. Amalei, listen, this is a very, very sharp language. Dilma bepudisaat the mailen pila bekupa de machta. Maybe you stam from Pumbedisa. Over there, they like to take an elephant and put it through a needle hole. In other words, here, we got a picture actually. Oh, this is good, and I ruined it. Okay. Here's Pumpadisa. You can see him from the Disas. Boom. Try to take an elephant and put it through a needle. I also showed the island this needle. This is real. There's a guy that does like art. He's able to, the hole of a needle, it makes this whole stuff. Okay, but this is better. I think on his hat we could do. He's from Pumpadisa. Okay. Says the Gemara, why? It goes together like a wife who can't get married. You can't get a shtickle married to somebody. It's completely not. You don't go in. You don't deal with the field at all. Not just selling. You can't even go in there. And do we have any time? Fine. What am I going to do? Stop here? You can't stop here. Huh? What do you say?
We do the daf, everything else waits.
Ooh, but it's a daf to a daf. Not daf to tefillah. You got to be in London. Says the Gemara like this. Whether or not you let a relative go into the captured people's possessions is a machlokes tanoi. Once he goes in, you let him in. This, I love this guy. This guy, he hears that his father's captured in Gaza. He's been there for 6 months. He's coming out tonight. What does this guy do? Instead of bringing the band and making a whole suda, he runs real quickly to the tree and he starts grabbing fruit. It's like he's hopping around right before he comes home. He eats the entire thing, everything. He doesn't pay for it. What's considered a captured person? If you hear that he died, he might have died, that's a shavi. Let me just show you over here. Oh, here we go. So Rabbi said we have 3 things here. We have something called a shavi, something called natushin, and something called retushin. Okay, now you go back to yeshiva, you're going to know these things. Natushin, retushin, and a shavi. Shavi is somebody that we heard that he died in captivity. Netushin is somebody we didn't hear that he died, but he's captured. Retushin, it happens unfortunately, and it happened recently in England. It happened to somebody I know that the father disappears on his own, just disappears. One day, he's gone. Veilu, hey. What's an netushin? They went away on business. We don't know what happened to him. Never came back. We don't know if he's dead. That you let have a relative go in there and deal with the field. But retushim, if somebody goes in there, you rip him out of there. This guy just disappeared. Now, if he's running away, disappeared, the Gemara is going to say, why you ran away? He should have told somebody, go into my field, take care of my business. From the fact he didn't tell anybody, obviously he doesn't want somebody to touch it. What's a natush? What's a ratush? It's based on the pasuk 2 lines here in Netushin the. It happened forcefully. That just like Shemitah, Hakadosh Baruch Hu takes your field away from you. By the way, Afkata the Malka, it's the king taking away from you. The machlokes the Beis Yosef and the Mabit. If somebody in Shemitah says, "Do not come into my field," we have here the striking paradise. Do not come in. If you come in, I'll be very upset. So the machlokes is whether you're allowed to force yourself in there. And it's based a little bit on this Gemara right here. Afkata the Malka is that Hakadosh Baruch Hu saying it's not yours. You have no right to tell someone not to go into your field. Retushim the medaiton. Retushim means I left on my own. D'chsiv emabonim rutasha raboisai. Have a wonderful evening. A good Voch. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:10.